I'm Jen, and I hate wet socks. Quick reminder here at the top, no matter the topic of discussion, this channel is a safe space for all viewers. That means that Black Lives Matter, and we support queer and disabled members of our community. Please let me know in an email or in the comments if there's anything that I can do to make my content more accessible and inclusive. You can find links to my social justice education video and resource document in the description below. November is right around the corner, and with it, I'm not sure if I've talked about it enough, is National Novel Writing Month. But once the month is over and you're sitting around with 50,000 or so new words of a project, what comes next? The first thing you need to do after November is over, no matter how much writing you got done, is take a break. Get some sleep, eat a healthy meal, spend a day without screens or back on screens if you spent the month without them, catch up on some Netflix, do whatever, but don't write for at least 24 hours. Take some time to pat yourself on the back for whatever you accomplished. If you set rewards for yourself, follow through on them. I cannot tell you how many times I have set rewards for myself for hitting milestones during NaNoWriMo, then hit that milestone and decided I didn't deserve it after all. Don't do that. That's awful and mean to future you. You definitely accomplished something. While setting your rewards, make sure that they're affordable or reasonably obtained. Then remind yourself why you set that reward in the first place. You set a goal and you accomplished it. That's something. And you earned it. If you need to, like I did this year, call in a rewards buddy and have them press add to cart. Let them know that you reached a milestone and let them reward you if that makes you feel better. It's a little bit extra validation, and then you will definitely get your reward. That affirmation from someone else will help you know your accomplishment is not only seen, but appreciated by others, as well as yourself. As soon as December hits, also remember to do a little extra self-care. I'm definitely planning to repaint my nails, re-dye my hair, and sit down with the family to a nice dinner at home. Take time to invest in yourself and thank your body for getting you through a really tough writing marathon. Both during and after Nano, I also plan to add some stretches and a little bit of yoga, just 5 or 10 minutes when I'm feeling like I need something different. And I'll make sure that I do some stretches that target my lower back and my hands and wrists. Those are the areas that suffer the most when I write for long periods of time. Personally, I do not dive right into editing my Nano work, and a lot of other authors will give you the same advice. I need a break for a few weeks at the very least. After that, I'll print out a copy of the book and start reading. The first read-through is usually an overall, is there even a book here? Which I do with a red pen, but only for major glaring changes that I need to make or to take notes of, like, there's a giant missing scene here. If there is a beginning, middle, and end, even if I've written them completely out of order, I read through the manuscript again, this time with that red pen, editing for spelling and grammar. Some people will do these edits right in the computer, but I find having a physical copy makes it much easier to stay focused and just read all the way through. I keep a notebook handy while I'm doing this entire process to keep track of things like words I use too often or that I misspell all the time, a name that I changed halfway through the manuscript that I can go through and fix one at a time. For example, I tend to use the word just way too often, and I find that if I do a search and replace through the whole document, I can delete a lot of instances of it, but I can also change it to make sure that I've only got 5 or 10 uses of it by the end. This is around the time that I make a big decision about whether or not this project is worth continuing. Perhaps a complete book never materialized, or like last November, I worked on a project that I never meant to take beyond the month. This year I'm working on something that I'd like to send out to agents, but if I'm 50,000 words in and I still haven't found the plot, I might put the book aside for a year or two before coming back. I might scrap it altogether. And if your Nano novel never emerges, that's completely fine. You wrote for 30 days, possibly in a row, and you not only got that version of that idea out of your head, but you practiced your craft. You're allowed to mourn the book that never was, alongside celebrating what you've accomplished. And there's nothing that says you can't try again next year, or during a camp month, or on your own time. On the other hand, this is a good time to remind both you and me that NaNoWriMo is a crazy intense writing sprint, and there's slim to no chance that you've got an actual draft you want to share with people right out the gate. I call this version of a manuscript Draft 0, and only once it actually looks like a book do I call it Draft 1. Sidebar, this is why I hate those montage sequences in like TV and movies where some writer is like smacked with inspiration or like told they can't write. And then over the course of like one feverish night, they're just like writing. And then the next morning they have like this big fat manuscript and they like slam it down on the desk of whoever doubted them. And they're just like, haha, I'm a writer. And the person's like, this is the greatest manuscript I've read in my 50-year career, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, that shit is a myth. And Joe March can eat my hat. That's not how writing works. And there's no chance that that manuscript is just like amazing. Depending on how much structure editing the book needs, I'll sometimes reorganize the document, write in Word, or create scene cards and move them around until I've got a good sequence. This usually will reveal even more spaces where I can fill in scenes. Sometimes I'll need to add a character or remove a character, and that all kind of comes out of the woodwork at this point. Any editing beyond these first few passes usually requires input from others. I have a group of friends, which I call the Tribunal, that I've sent work to in the past, and I always trust them with initial drafts like this because they send constructive and honest feedback. That's where I like to start. But this year, I'm also setting a goal for myself to join a group of other writers online and take part in that community by January 2021. Okay, so now you've got something that resembles a book when you dress it up nice. Congratulations! Treat yourself to a nice big fat deli sandwich on like crunchy bread. This week on Advice Jen Can Dish Out But She Can't Take. You'll notice that my method includes a lot of rewards, and I think that's actually really important. Being self-employed or working on a massive project that you're doing outside of your quote-unquote regular life is freaking hard, and sometimes it feels like you don't get to complain about it or celebrate your successes because it's something that you chose for yourself. But the opposite is actually true. You're doing extra, so you should get to celebrate extra. Go get like a whole ice cream cake that says happy birthday or something, and don't share it with anyone. You earned it. You might want to think about planning or applying to writers' retreats at this point. This will allow you completely concentrated time to work on your project without the rest of your responsibilities getting in the way. There are absolutely ways to do this safely during COVID times, and I'll talk about that more in my writing retreat video coming out sometime soon. It's also time to start thinking about this from a business perspective. If you've decided you want to publish this book, think about whether you want to self-publish or go the traditional route. Figure out what genre you've written and how you'll query with agents. Again, this is all way, way down the road, and since today's video is more about strictly post-nano, I'm not going to get too much into that. I hope you have a great NaNoWriMo this year. I'm looking forward to working on this project that's been gnawing at my brain for a while. Hopefully I'll see you floating around the Nano forums or in the Twitter hashtags. Let me know what you're working on in the comments below. As always, if you liked this video, click the thumbs up button down below and subscribe for more content. Remember to ring the bell wherever, I never remember where that button is, to get notified every time I upload a new video. You can also find all of my social media links as well as my Patreon and Ko-fi in the description below. As always, stay safe and stay healthy. And happy NaNoWriMo!
Are you always this articulate?
Hercules. My name is Hercules.